Okay, let's learn about parent to child relationship query. And in these type of queries, your main object is the parent object. So in this example, the school is our parent object. So your main query looks like this. Select and then you will specify all your fields that you want to fetch from the school object. Then from school, because school is our parent object which will act as the main object in this SQL query. Now let's understand how we can reach out to the child records from a parent object. So here I have my school object and the student object. And we already know that school is the parent object of the student child object. So they both share a relationship. And in this relationship, we are reaching out from school to student. So there must be a connection between school and student object, and that's what we call a relationship name. For example, if you are reaching out from school to the student object, then the relationship name can be students. And we will use this relationship name in our query to fetch all the related student records. And keep in mind, this relationship name is only valid when you are reaching out to student object from your school object. That means from parent to child object. If you do it vice versa, then this relationship name can be different. So for now, let's see how we can use this relationship name to fetch all the student records from a school object record. So here we have our SQL query. From the first glance, it may look scary, but we will break it down and we will understand how we have written this SQL query. The only difference in this SQL query is that it has two select keywords and two from keywords. So far we have only seen one single select keyword and from keyword in every SQL query. Now let's understand this query. First, our main focus is our parent object. So that's why our first select statement is about the parent object. So we are fetching name and registration number from the school object. So that's why if you focus on these white words, it simply translates to select name and registration number from the school. But we also want to get all the related child records as well, or all the related student records as well. So in that case, alongside your field name in your parent query, you can also specify a child subquery. And here, if you notice, we are using our relationship name, which is called students. So this time we are fetching this name and roll number from the student object. So this query is going to return us the school names and their multiple student records as well. So let's say you have 10 different schools and each school have 1000 students in them. Then you will get 10 records from the parent query, and these 10 records are related to 1000 records in each of those. You will understand it better when we will try it in the developer console. For now, let's also focus on this parenthesis as well. So when you specify your child subquery, then you need to define it within the parenthesis. And your subquery can also have the where clause, so you can define the conditions on your child subquery as well. And it can also accept multiple fields as well. In this case, we are only fetching name and roll number, but as per your requirement, you can fetch more or less number of fields as well. And do not forget that we are using a relationship name here. The students is not the object name, it's the relationship name between the school and student object. And I'll explain you guys how you can get this relationship name when you are fetching the child object record from the parent object. So let's go back to our Salesforce org, and first we'll see how we can get the relationship name from a parent to child relationship. So here I am in my Salesforce org, and each and every Salesforce org has these standard objects like account, contacts, opportunities and leads. And account is a parent object of the contact object and the opportunity object as well. So we will write a SQL query on our parent account object, and from there we'll fetch all the related contact records. So first thing first, how we can get the relationship name? To get the relationship name, you always need to go to the child object, and here the contact is our child object. So let's scroll down and find contact from this list. Click on this contact object and let's go to fields and relationships. And here we need to focus on the data type, which can be lookup or master detail for the relationship fields. So let's sort it by the data type field, and here let's scroll down and we see that this contact has a lookup to account object. So this must be a relationship field between the contact object and the account object. Let's click on this field, and here you will see some details about this particular field. But the information that we want from this page is this one, the child relationship name, which is contacts. So whenever we want to fetch the contacts from the account object, then we need to use contacts in our SQL query as the relationship name. So let's go to the developer console and let's write a simple query on the account object first. So it's a pretty basic query on account object where we are retrieving all the records and we are retrieving the name of the account. It has given us 13 records and we have got the names of each and every account as well. If you want, you can fetch more fields like maybe phone number and website as well. And we have got more data here in the results. Now from this account object, we want to reach to the related contact records. So first let's use a comma after our field names, and then we need to use parentheses, and within these parentheses we are going to write our child subquery. So again we will have our select and from statement, select and from, and this time after this from keyword we need to specify the relationship name instead of the object name. So you cannot write the object name here. For example, if you go to our object manager and find contacts here, the API name is contact, and if you write this contact here, it's not going to work, because instead of this object name, what we want is the relationship name, which was contacts as we have just seen. So we need to copy this relationship name and paste it here. And let's say we want to get the name from these contacts, so let's write name. As I said, you can fetch more fields from your child object as well, but for now let's only select name and let's execute this query. So we have got our contacts here. For example, the third record has multiple contacts in it. It has two contacts. The first one is Liz D. Cruz and the second one is Tom Ripley. If you want to fetch more data from contact, then you can specify the fields here. Let's get some fields from the contact object, maybe like department or email. Let's write them down here, department and then email, and click on execute. And we will see the department and email as well in our search result. We can also use where condition in our child queries. So let's say if you want to put some condition on the department, we can totally do that. Like department should be equals to maybe like finance. I got a spelling mistake. Let's correct it and execute our query. So this time we are getting the contacts which are having the department as finance. And along with the where condition on your subquery, you can also have where condition on your parent query as well. So maybe like if you want to put a where condition on the account object, then we can do that. Let's say we only want to fetch the account United Oil and Gas UK. So we can do that. And this time we have only got one result and the related contacts. Now if there are multiple child objects, then you can query all those child objects as well. For example, if you want to query the related opportunities as well, we can do that. let's add one more comma here and we can have one more subquery, and this time we'll be writing our query on the opportunity object. And let's get some fields from the opportunity object. First we need to get the relationship name, so let's go to fields and relationship, sort the fields by the data type. We need to focus on a master tail or lookup field with the contact, and this is our field. And the child relationship name is opportunities, so we are going to write, instead of opportunity we need to write opportunities here. And then let's get some fields, maybe like amount we can get, and then the maybe like the opportunity name. Let's get these two fields, name and amount. Let's execute this query, and now we are getting the related opportunities as well. Let's remove this where condition actually, so that we don't restrict our account results, and we are getting the related opportunity records as well. And this subquery can also accept the where clause, so if you want to filter out some of the opportunity records, you can do that. Now what if there are child objects of these child objects as well? For maybe like contact can be a parent object for another child object, so can we have one more query here? No, we cannot have a subquery within a subquery. This is only supported for one level deep, and we are already one level deep from our parent account object. So you can only get one level deep child records from a parent object in a SQL query. Now this was only about the standard objects, where getting these relationship names is quite simple. You can directly pick it up from their respective object manager pages. But what if we are dealing with custom objects? So let's go back to our Salesforce org, and I've created two custom objects here. The first one is the author and the second one is the book, where author is my parent object and book is my child object, as one author can have multiple books. So if you want to get the relationship name, we need to go to the child object, and here child object is our book object. So you have already noticed the API name difference on the book object itself. It has a suffix called _C, which is a suffix that Salesforce adds for each and every custom object and custom field. We have already seen it under the account object as well for the active field. If you want to get the relationship with the author object, then we need to go to the fields and relationship. And here we need to focus on a master tail or lookup field with the author object. So this is our field. Let's click on it. So here as well we have got the child relationship name, which we have seen on our opportunity and contact page as well. So do you think we can directly use this child relationship name in our SQL? Let's try to see it. I'm going to remove this SQL and I'm going to close all these tabs, and I'm going to write a SQL query on my parent author object. So let's start with our favorite keywords, select and from. And first we need to get the API name of our parent object. So let's go to the author page, and here we can see that our API name is author _C. We cannot write author here because the API name is author _C. And now we can get the name from it and click on execute. For now we don't have any author records, but we didn't get any error in our SQL query. It's working totally fine. So let's go back to our home page and create a author record. I'm going to search for author here. You won't see this object in your Salesforce org, as this is a custom object that I have created. Here I'm going to click on this new button. Here let's write down our author name, maybe like J.K. Rowling, and let's select a gender and maybe an email, and let's save this record. And if we run our query again, we should see our result. Now from this author, we want to get all the books that this particular author has published. So for now I don't have any book records, so I'm going to create a few of them. Again, you won't see it in your Salesforce org, as these are the custom objects that I have created. If you want to test it out in your own Salesforce org, then you can create any two custom objects with a parent-child relationship. Let's create one more record. And let's save it. So now we have got two books from our author J.K. Rowling. Now let's go back to developer console, and we want to fetch all the books that J.K. Rowling has published. So we can use a subquery here. So add a comma and then the parenthesis, and let's write our favorite keyword select and from, and we need to get the relationship name here, right? And we have already seen that the relationship name is books. So let's write it down, and then we can get the name from books. So do you think it's going to work? Let's execute it. It's not working, and we have got an error that SQL didn't understand the relationship books. So this books relationship is not the correct relationship name. The reason being, now we are dealing with custom object, and we have already seen that each and every custom object and custom field has a suffix called $_c, and when you use these custom objects as relationships in SQL query, then instead of using $_c, you need to use $_r with the relationship name. So along with our relationship name, which is books that we have got from here, we need to add a suffix which is $_r, and r here defines the relationship. If we click on execute again, this time we have got our search result. So this is how parent to child relationship works. Make sure that you get your relationship name right, and then you can simply fetch all your related records, each within a subquery like this. Now let's talk about the limitations of parent to child subquery. So when you are writing parent to child relationship query, then there are two limitations that you need to remember. The first one is you can only go one level deep from your parent object, and we have already seen it. From account object, we cannot go to the child object of either contact or opportunity object, because when we are fetching these contact and opportunity records, we are already one level deep. The second limitation is there are up to 20 related objects that you can use in a parent to child relationship query. So we have used contact and opportunity object in one single query. Like that, you can have 18 more, but you cannot have more than 20 related object in a parent to child relationship query. So keep these limitations in mind when you are writing your SQL queries. That's all in this video. In the next video, we will be learning about child to parent relationship queries.